Hey you, welcome back to Secrets with Maeve, the space for the conversations we usually keep to ourselves. I'm Maeve. Today we're talking about something I know so many of us struggle with in silence. 8 female body language tricks that scream, I want you. Men always miss. 7. Let's get into it. Most men have no idea where they truly stand when it comes to their attractiveness. They assume that if women aren't constantly approaching them or making bold moves, then they must be average or invisible. But what if I told you that many genuinely attractive men walk through life unaware of the attention they're getting? Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments below. Women are subtle, strategic, emotionally intelligent in the way they express interest, and that subtlety, it confuses men. I'm Mary Smith, host of the Mindful Senior Living channel, and today we're unpacking what most men miss. Attraction is rarely loud. It's rarely obvious. It hides in body language and micro expressions you've probably dismissed. If you're listening to this thinking, Mary, I honestly don't know if women find me attractive, I want you to lean in a little closer right now, because chances are you've missed the signs more times than you realize. Maybe you've walked into rooms and felt eyes on you, but brushed it off. Maybe you've noticed women act a little different around you, but assumed you were imagining it. Let's talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. The first sign is eye contact that lingers and then disappears quickly. When a woman finds you attractive, she doesn't just glance at you. She studies you for a fraction longer than normal. Not long enough to feel exposed, just long enough to test whether you notice her noticing you. There's a pause there, a silent question, and then almost as quickly, she looks away. Psychologically, eye contact is one of the most powerful indicators of attraction. But here's where men misinterpret it. You assume she's just being polite. You assume it's random. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you walk into a coffee shop. You scan the room casually. Your eyes meet hers. She doesn't immediately look away. There's a soft freeze, a half second of stillness. Then she drops her gaze to her cup. A few moments later, you catch her looking again. That second glance is rarely accidental. Attraction creates curiosity. Here's something practical you can try. The next time you catch eye contact, hold it gently for one extra beat. Then give a small, relaxed smile. Watch her reaction. Does she blush? Does she tuck her hair? Does she look down and smile to herself? Those are green lights you've probably been missing. The second sign is proximity. When a woman is attracted to you, she will find reasons to be physically near you, not in a dramatic way, in a subtle, socially acceptable way. She might position herself within your conversational circle. In a professional setting, she might choose the seat across from you. At the gym, she may consistently use equipment near yours. Human beings are biologically wired to gravitate toward what feels appealing. Repeated proximity increases feelings of attraction and familiarity. I once worked with a client who insisted women never noticed him. Yet at every office event, one particular woman would happen to stand beside him. She'd laugh at his jokes a little louder. She'd lightly brush his arm when making a point. He thought she was just friendly. She had a crush. The third sign is the way people listen when you speak. Attractiveness isn't only physical. It's energetic. It's psychological. There's a bias called the halo effect. People subconsciously assume attractive individuals possess other positive traits like intelligence or leadership. If you notice that when you speak, people quiet down, lean in, maintain eye contact, that's not random, that's presence, and presence is magnetic. I hope this helps you see the subtle green lights around you. I'm Mary Smith, and I'll see you in the next one. The fourth sign is mirroring. Mirroring is a subconscious behavior where someone subtly copies your posture, gestures, or rhythm of movement. It's rooted in something neuroscientists call mirror neurons, brain cells that fire both when we act and when we observe someone else acting. When a woman crosses her legs shortly after you shift position, or takes a sip after you do, or leans back when you lean back, she's syncing with you energetically. And here's what makes this powerful. Mirroring is rarely intentional. It's the body's way of saying, I feel aligned with this person. If you want to gently test for this, change your posture in a small way. Adjust your shoulders, lean slightly to one side, wait 30 seconds. Notice if she follows. That synchronization is attraction speaking through the body. The fifth sign is compliments that go beyond surface level. If a woman says, you have a calming presence, or I feel really comfortable talking to you, or there's something different about you, she has already processed your physical attractiveness. Now she's responding to your emotional energy. Women often verbalize how a man makes them feel rather than how he looks. And that's significant. When she compliments your voice, your humor, your groundedness, your insight, she's signaling deeper intrigue. Instead of brushing these comments off, receive them fully. Make eye contact and say, I appreciate that. That calm acceptance reinforces confidence. The sixth sign is repeated glances from across the room. Attractive men often experience being watched and they dismiss it. You walk into a room, heads subtly turn. A woman looks away, then checks again later. Sometimes men even notice other men observing them, sizing them up, evaluating. Attention is a form of currency in social spaces. If your presence shifts visual focus, you stand out. And standing out does not require flamboyance. Sometimes it's posture, sometimes it's grooming, sometimes it's simply self-assured stillness. The seventh sign involves other men. This one surprises many people. When you are perceived as attractive, other men react, sometimes with respect, sometimes with competitiveness. They may listen closely when you speak, ask your opinion, introduce you to others confidently, or alternatively, they may try to one-up you, interrupt. You make subtle, passive-aggressive remarks. Both reactions are forms of acknowledgement. Social hierarchies are deeply ingrained in human behavior. When another man shifts his behavior in your presence, he is responding to perceived status. Women notice these dynamics instinctively. If you remain composed while another man attempts to compete, you amplify your perceived confidence. The eighth sign is assumptions about your options. Have you ever had a woman jokingly say, you probably say that to all the girls even though you weren't flirting heavily, or ask, how are you still single? Or tease you about having a lot of women in your DMs? Those comments are rarely random. They indicate she perceives you as desirable by others. This is rooted in social proof, a psychological principle where people assign higher value to someone already desired by others. When you carry yourself with relaxed confidence without chasing validation, it signals abundance, and abundance is attractive. Now, here's where I want to slow down and speak directly to you again. If even 2 or 3 of these signs resonate, you are likely more attractive than you've given yourself credit for. But attractiveness isn't just something you identify, it's something you cultivate. Confidence grows through embodiment, through posture, through voice, through emotional regulation. So let me give you 3 practical steps you can start using immediately. First, refine your physical presence. Stand with your shoulders relaxed and back. Keep your chin level. Slow your movement slightly. Rushed energy reads as nervousness. Second, regulate your internal dialogue. If you walk into a room thinking, no one will notice me, your body reflects that. Instead, experiment with the belief, I belong here. Watch how your energy shifts. Third, practice observational awareness. Instead of obsessing over whether someone likes you, observe behaviors objectively. Is she facing you, mirroring you, glancing repeatedly, responding warmly? Shift from self-doubt to data collection. Attraction is often quiet, but it leaves patterns. And when you learn to read those patterns, you stop questioning your worth. If this conversation is opening your eyes, I'd love for you to pause for a moment and gently tap that like button. It helps this message reach others who may need to hear it. And tell me in the comments which of these signs have you experienced but doubted. I read your thoughts and they inspire future conversations here on Mindful Senior Living. Because at the heart of all of this isn't ego, it's awareness. The most magnetic men are not the loudest. They are not the flashiest. They are the ones who understand their value without needing constant reassurance. And if you're still unsure, I want you to begin experimenting this week. Make eye contact a fraction longer. Slow your speech. Notice who gravitates toward you. Notice who mirrors you. Notice who assumes you have options. Confidence isn't built by external validation. It's built by recognizing what's already happening around you. And once you truly internalize that, once you stop second guessing and start owning your presence, something shifts. Women don't just notice you, they feel you. And when someone feels your groundedness, your calm strength, your quiet certainty, that's when attraction becomes undeniable. Because recognizing signs of attraction is only the beginning. The real transformation happens when you stop searching for proof and start embodying certainty. Let's talk about something many men won't admit out loud: the internal narrative. You can experience every sign we just discussed: lingering eye contact, proximity, mirroring, compliments, social respect, and still tell yourself, she's just being nice. That internal dismissal is often rooted in old experiences. Maybe you were overlooked in school. Maybe you compared yourself to louder, flashier men. Maybe you were rejected once and unconsciously decided that rejection defines your value. But here's the truth. The brain is wired to confirm what it already believes. If you believe you're unattractive, your mind will filter out positive signals and magnify neutral ones. This is a cognitive distortion known as confirmation bias. You see what you expect to see. So if you expect disinterest, you'll interpret subtle attraction as politeness. Let me tell you about a man I once coached in his late 40s. Intelligent, stable, emotionally grounded, but he walked into every room assuming he was invisible. Women would smile at him, ask him questions, initiate conversation, and afterward he'd say, "She was just being friendly." One evening at a networking event, I asked him to observe instead of interpret, just collect evidence. He noticed one woman consistently turned her body toward him, even when others spoke. He noticed she laughed at his softer jokes, not just the obvious ones. He noticed she touched her necklace when he maintained eye contact. At the end of the night, she asked if he'd be attending the next event. He almost didn't see it. That's how subtle attraction can be. Now, I want to give you something practical, a small but powerful exercise you can start this week. It's called the 3-signal rule. When interacting with a woman, instead of deciding based on one cue whether she's interested, look for 3. Eye contact plus proximity, mirroring plus laughter, questions plus sustained attention. One signal can be coincidence. 3 signals create a pattern. Patterns reveal truth. And while we're here, let's gently address something else. Desperation. Nothing dims attraction faster than seeking constant reassurance. When a man needs immediate confirmation that he's desirable, his energy tightens, his tone changes, his body leans forward slightly too much, his laughter becomes performative. Women are incredibly perceptive to emotional states. Research in emotional intelligence consistently shows that women score higher on average in detecting subtle emotional shifts. That means she can feel when you're grounded and when you're seeking validation. True attractiveness carries calm. It's the difference between, do you like me and I enjoy being here? One repels, the other invites. So how do you cultivate that calm? Start by slowing down your physical movements. Anxiety speeds up gestures. Confidence conserves motion. Practice walking slightly slower. Practice pausing before responding instead of rushing to fill silence. Silence, when held comfortably, communicates power. Another key element is grooming and self-respect. Now, I'm not talking about vanity. I'm talking about alignment. When your external presentation reflects internal care, people respond. Well-fitted clothing, clean shoes, maintained hair, subtle scent. These aren't superficial details. They signal self-value. And remember the halo effect we discussed earlier. When you present yourself with care, people unconsciously attribute additional positive qualities to you. It's not manipulation, it's human psychology. Now let's address something deeper, emotional safety. As we mature, especially in midlife and beyond, attraction shifts. It's no longer purely about physical appeal. It becomes about how someone feels in your presence. Do you listen without interrupting? Do you maintain steady eye contact when she shares something personal? Do you respond thoughtfully rather than trying to impress? These behaviors create emotional magnetism. I've seen men transform their dating experiences not by changing their appearance dramatically, but by changing how they make women feel. One gentleman told me, "Mary, I stopped trying to be impressive. I started trying to be attentive." Within months, his interactions changed entirely. Women began initiating more. Conversations lasted longer. Invitations increased because emotional presence is rare. Let me also gently challenge you with this. Sometimes you are attractive, but your fear prevents you from reciprocating. Have you ever broken eye contact too quickly? Avoided smiling because you weren't sure? Dismissed an opportunity because you assumed she wasn't serious? Attraction requires participation. If she glances twice and you never respond, the connection dissolves. Not because you weren't attractive, but because attraction is a dance. Both people must step forward slightly. So here's another exercise. Practice micro-bravery. Hold eye contact 1 second longer. Offer one sincere compliment. Ask one follow-up question. You don't need grand gestures. You need small courage. Now let's talk about aging and attractiveness. Because many of you watching this channel are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Attractiveness evolves. It deepens. Youthful appeal often relies on aesthetics. Mature appeal relies on stability, groundedness, life experience, emotional control. There is something profoundly attractive about a man who has weathered life and carries himself with quiet assurance. Women in midlife are often less impressed by flash and more drawn to consistency, reliability, depth. So if you've been measuring your worth against 25-year-old standards, it's time to update the scale. Your value now may be higher than ever if you recognize it. And let me add this, jealousy can be confirmation. If a woman becomes slightly guarded when other women speak to you, that's data. If she asks subtle questions about your dating life, that's curiosity. If she teases you about having fans, that's projection of desirability. But handle it gently. Never exploit jealousy. Simply remain steady. Confidence with kindness is irresistible. I also want to encourage reflection. At the end of each week, ask yourself, where did I notice attention? Where did I minimize it? Where did I respond confidently? Where did I shrink? Growth happens through awareness, not self-criticism. And if this message is resonating with you, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who constantly underestimates himself. These conversations matter. They help reshape self-perception in healthy, grounded ways. Because the ultimate goal here is not ego inflation. It's self-clarity. When you understand how attraction actually works subtly, psychologically, energetically, you stop chasing. You stop forcing, you start allowing, and allowing is powerful. Imagine walking into your next social setting with this mindset. I don't need to prove. I simply need to observe and respond. Notice how different that feels. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing slows. Your gaze steadies. That shift alone changes how you're perceived. Attraction is often less about becoming someone new and more about removing the layers of doubt that conceal who you already are. You don't need louder clothes, you don't need rehearsed lines, you don't need exaggerated dominance, you need grounded self-trust. And when you embody that, women feel it almost instantly. So the next time you catch someone looking at you twice, the next time she positions herself beside you, the next time your voice quiets a room, don't dismiss it. Receive it. Let it inform your confidence rather than challenge it. Because many attractive men are not unaware due to lack of appeal. They are unaware due to lack of acknowledgement. And acknowledgement begins within. If you're ready to keep deepening your understanding of connection, psychology, and mindful confidence, make sure you're subscribed to Mindful Senior Living. This is a space where we explore growth with warmth, not ego, insight, not manipulation. Tell me in the comments which sign surprised you the most. And have you ever realized in hindsight that someone was attracted to you and you missed it? Your reflections may help another man see himself more clearly. Remember, attraction isn't noise, it's nuance. And now that you know what to look for, you'll never walk into a room the same way again.